begin, I carefully considered the concept of the future painting, a striking female character combining boldness, confidence, and mystery. I sketched the image with a B2 pencil, as it produces soft lines and allows for easy variation in the intensity of the strokes. First, I outlined the general proportions of the head and hat, determined the central line of facial symmetry, and then added the contours of the glasses, lips, and strands of hair. I paid particular attention to the shape of the lips and the position of the glasses to convey the character and mood. After that, I moved on to detailing. I drew the hairline, folds in the clothing, and the contours of the collar. I erased any unnecessary strokes and highlighted the highlights on the face. The sketch turned out expressive, with a clear rhythm of lines that set the foundation for the future color scheme. At this stage, it was important to maintain a balance between precise form and free gesture to leave room for artistic interpretation in the painting. Once the sketch was complete, I began coloring it using acrylic paints. They allowed me to achieve richness and contrast. I began with the background, which I kept predominantly white, to ensure the figure would appear bright and stand out clearly from the canvas. The white space enhanced the contrast with the saturated colors and gave the composition a fresh and modern feel. I then moved on to the clothing, focusing on rich purple and violet tones to create a sense of depth and energy. I used a medium brush for broad strokes and smooth transitions, and a fine brush to add shadows and folds to convey the texture of the fabric. I deliberately heightened the contrast between the cool blue of the hat and the warm purple of the clothing to create visual tension and dynamism. Next, I moved on to the face. A warm palette yellow and ochre hues with a hint of orange helped convey a sense of tan and sunlight. I applied the paint in layers, starting with the base tone, then added shadows under the chin and near the glasses. I used a larger brush to create smooth transitions between areas, and a fine brush to refine the contours of the lips and nose. I made the hair a vibrant green to create a contrast with the skin and emphasize the eccentricity of the image. I applied the base coat with a medium-sized brush, and then used a fine brush to draw in individual strands. I added a touch of yellow and blue here and there to prevent the hair from looking flat. This gave it life and volume. Then I focused on the small details. I paid special attention to the glasses. The blue and turquoise shades convey the reflection of the sky and light. I used a fine brush and slightly damp paint to achieve smooth transitions within the lenses. I added black accents along the contours of the glasses for depth. I made the lips a rich red with emphasized lines to express sensuality and strength of character. The final step was to slightly correct the highlights on the face and the shadows under the hat. I wanted the image to appear as if illuminated from within. Altogether, the effect was a stylish poster with pop art elements. Critical assessment of the painting. The painting turned out bright, bold, and expressive. The character is particularly well conveyed through the combination of color and form. The rich shades of purple, green, and blue create a vibrant and memorable image. The glasses are well designed, creating a sense of depth and reflection. Contrast between the warm face and cool accessories enhances the visual impact. However, there are areas that could be improved. The skin tone is a bit monochromatic, lacking subtle gradations and midtones to create volume. The transition between the hair and face could also be softened. The line is currently too sharp. Another area for improvement would be to add subtle highlights to the lips and add some variety to the background, for example, with soft, abstract spots to avoid a feeling of emptiness. The painting is executed in a pop art style with elements of expressionism. The bright colors, contours, and emotional expressiveness highlight the character's individuality. It might appeal to those who appreciate contemporary art, fashionable visual solutions, and the energy of color artists, designers, and young people interested in street culture and graphic art. Overall, the work conveys freedom, boldness, and confidence. It seems to say, I'm not afraid to be myself.